Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific North, fresh from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The first place Mariners, baby!
Thought you were gonna drop an expletive early, and I would not have been happy with you,
Nope.
but we're here and we are in first place atop the AL West with a resounding 2 games above 500. And there's a lot of good things to cover this week for the Mariners. But before we jump into that, why don't I tell you a little bit about us? If you're looking for a guy who is very similar to the Mariners this week, because not only did I sweep my kitchen, I also swept the deck. That's 2 sweeps in 1 week, just like the Seattle Mariners. If you're looking for a guy like that, you're looking for a guy like me, your boy Coach Red. You can find me on X at the Real Coach Red, on Instagram at the Real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the Real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. And if you're looking for a guy who might, if he were at Lumen Field tonight, might break the noise record just by himself. The decibels will be high and his takes will be higher on the Mariners this week. It's Kane.
Yep. I'm Kane. You can find me over on Twitter, Kane2406, TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials.
Talk louder.
All right. Sorry. Thanks, buddy. All right, let me restart that, I suppose. Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter, Kane2406, TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Follows. Do it, freaking do it.
Yeah, sorry for not sorry, but you're even quiet there on the restart. But we got to give the fans what they want. I asked for decibels and you came in quiet. So I don't know what's going on. But I can tell you, I do know what's going on with the Mariners. They're finally playing up to potential and still doing it without Donovan and Cal. Donovan's still on a rehab assignment. Cal Raleigh's waiting for the next steps, but he's taking some swings. He's throwing the ball around. So
Got a bullpen today.
should be in pretty good spot to be back, I think, within the next week or two. I would think with Brendan Donovan for sure, Rayleigh potentially, or Cal Raleigh, not Rayleigh. Sorry. So
Yeah.
tough.
I
They're
have
so
I have
close.
questions in this episode for you about some things with this team. But we can do that after we get through the stats and stuff.
Yeah, because we're back on the week stats, so we've got weekly stats for your ass. And this was tough. Um, every Mariners hitter this week batted above 200. So
Yeah.
usually it's like 250 is the cutoff, but I didn't want to overload it too bad.
There's
Um,
also dudes we have to talk about that did play during the week that did very successful things.
yeah, so I capped it at the 300 mark with a minimum of 10 at bats outside of our picks to click who didn't reach that, but I think we're both impactful on the week. But we'll start off with the top, the walk-off man himself, Victor Robles. 500 average this week. He had 5 hits, one double, one RBI, and scored 1 run. And Victor Robles in the field is awesome. Victor
Awesome.
Robles at the dish is still pesky. I don't think we're ever going to see the power performance like we saw when he first came over to the Mariners. But if he can be pesky and just be a bottom of the lineup turnover guy when you've got a lefty on the bump, I mean,
Uh,
I think it helped really when you had the A's early in the week that augmented their entire rotation, which probably not so much just because the Mariners weren't doing so hot against left-handers, because Severino, who they bumped back, ended up going on the IR anyways after his
yeah.
truncated outing. But the right-handed bats for the Mariners stepped up this week and really propelled them to
Yes.
victory.
Yes, agreed. They're Brett had an all right week. Wouldn't say it was anything crazy. I believe he had 2 walks or so. He had a homer. Uh
Why don't you talk about Victor Robles? Because that's who we're talking about right now.
Okay. Well, as you said, Victor Robles, pesky in the box, drawing walks, getting cheeky base hits too. And I like it. The one thing I don't like is him oversliding second base on a steal attempt.
That'll
Other than
happen.
that, Victor has been fun. Very fun. He's diving left and right, like giving you web gems almost. It's been pretty fun watching Vic play. Like I was worried about him getting back into the lineup because now he should be your first guy off the bench
Mhm.
instead of ref because I think he's earned that rapport and everything too. And it's just Victor Robles is a burst of energy. It is very refreshing to see. Like you've seen it a little bit more because like Julio's doing Julio stuff, but like outside of that, Victor Robles is loud. He is very vocal in the dugout, great out in the field. It's just been nice. And as you kind of doted on, they're doing this without Donovan and Cal. Like it's the time to do it, right?
Yep. We need to do it, especially in division. The A's are at the top there. Like you come out of Sacramento with the division lead, and then you expand upon that against a very solid Arizona Diamondbacks team that
Yeah.
came in hot. But someone who's arguably been a little bit hotter this year, it's Luke Raley. Batted 389 on the week, 7 hits, scored 3 runs, hit 3 homers, and had 4 RBIs.
So did he just turn into Barry Bonds this year? Like,
He's healthy again, and that's what we saw in the year where they didn't want to give him run at the start of that year, and he really came out with 20 homers, and he's already sitting at 12, I think, right now,
yeah.
maybe 13. I
But
think it's 12 though.
I guess what I mean, like I told this to Dad earlier when I was on the phone with him. I was like, I don't know, dude. It just seems like he's Barry Bonds now. Everything that comes off his bat is kind of crazy. It's
It-
stung either out of the park or to the gap, and he's getting doubles and stuff like that. It's like, did he turn into Barry Bonds this year? Because everything seems, Julio's bat or exit velocity is better, but like it just seems like anything Luke hits is scorched.
Luke Raley is currently like the fourth highest WAR right fielder in baseball, and he's a platoon player.
Yeah.
And
Uh
and the other half of his platoon this week was batted 500. Good week for the right fielders. Good
yeah.
week for the right
Uh
fielders.
but man, Luke Raley is seeing the ball and he's hitting the ball. I can't believe that this is real life with him right now. Because, talking today and stuff from the years that he watched Luke Raley, it's like never got this from him. Yes, he's been solid, but it's not been this.
No, and it's been awesome. And it's really when you do get fully healthy, this lineup is so much longer with the contributions that you're getting from guys in the middle chunk of that lineup when you're talking about 5, 6, 7
Well,
guys.
I said this earlier today. I think I was talking to Dad again. I was like, dude, I think he's hitting like 270, 280, and your six hitters leading the team in home runs. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. But you want to know what else is fun?
Yeah, what's that?
When the moon hits your eye
Oh,
like a
yeah.
big pizza pie is a Canzone. Dominic Canzone,
Spicy meatballs,
357
baby.
average on the week, 5 hits, 3 runs, one double, 3 homers, 4 RBIs. Um, just a heads up, there are a lot of homers to go over in this week's
So
version of
I
Top Mariners hitters.
I've kind of realized at this point that when Luke goes deep and Canzone's in the lineup, there is a good chance that Dom Canzone is also going deep that game. It happens a lot, honestly, more than it should. But
Well, they probably made a sacrifice to the left-handed gods that
sure, dude.
before in the dugout. And I
I
think that
mean,
Victor Robles brought the chicken bones with him back from his IR stint. I mean, Victor Robles gets back in the lineup and your platoon guys start going off. It's
It's
Uh,
kind of wild, to
The
be
vibes are
honest.
high.
Yeah. And Dom Canzone, it looks so dialed still. This is the guy we saw since he got called up last year. Like, and this is where the tough questions start to kind of come into play, right? Like, I don't mean to derail the stats or anything, but like, what do you do when Brendan Donovan's back? Because Cole Emerson is your everyday third baseman at this point.
Well,
Slash maybe,
you send down Patrick Wisdom, who did bat 1,000 on the week with one at bat.
yeah, 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 he did.
That's who goes down.
Okay, okay.
There you go.
Because like,
Solve that problem real quick.
okay, that all right, all right, and
Don't
then
talk don't talk to me yet about when Cal gets back. We're not
yeah,
there yet.
yeah, because that's also a tough conversation at this point. In my opinion, it is.
Yep. But something else that has been tough is the man at the top of the order, and JP Crawford this week was 346 average. He had 9 hits, scored 6 runs. He had 3 homers as well, and 5 RBIs.
Are we back for the JP Crawford pimping everything? Because my goodness, dude, when he hits them at home, it is the one of the most electric things I've ever seen. Like, my goodness, JP Crawford. And on top of that, spectacular defense in the
At home
Arizona
at
series.
at in the Arizona series. I would say at home in that series because he did have an error in Sacramento. And it's great to see for our boy JP. You're sitting there with JP being a stalwart, wanting to do everything for Seattle, wanting to play for Seattle beyond this year. And I think what he does with the stick is always going to keep him as an interesting piece for this team moving forward. And the
Yes.
veteran leadership that's there, a lot of people look up to JP, and you can tell that when he has those gaffes in the field, no one's taking it harder than himself.
Hmm.
So it's good to see him have a big week with the stick, though.
Yeah, and with everything with Cold Emerson being up and everything, like how he's kind of taken him under his wing and offered to get reps at third to potentially move to third base, which I think would help the defense a lot because it's less ground you have to cover, right? Colt's young. Colt can get to those and make the
No,
throws.
no,
Like,
Cole is young. It's Cole Young.
sure, but Colt Emerson, sure, I can throw the last name on there.
Well,
But
thank you.
I think that there are some plays where JP has to go to his right and he'll snag it, but there's no chance he's throwing a dude out, right? Like, Cole Emerson can make that play. Seen him do it lots of times down in AAA. Like, I I commend him. Like, he probably wears the C besides Cal on this
I think
team.
that JP probably wears the C even above Cal, if we're
I
being
I that
completely
I think
honest.
so. I think
And I think
so.
that Cal, just what he does with the pitching staff, you can make that argument. But I think um, it's JP is the leader of the entire team.
Hmm.
Another guy who's really rebounded, didn't have the best series against Arizona, and didn't have the power numbers like everyone else on this team. It was Josh Naylor. He batted 308 on the week. He had 8 hits, all singles, scored four
Take it,
runs, and had
dude.
one RBI.
We'll take it. I mean, Josh Naylor is that first stretch is still haunting him on every statistical category. Uh, the dude has been a 300 hitter since I think the 14th.
Yeah.
Kind of he flipped the switch, and he has been pesky. It's been great. You
Well,
know,
it hurt him, but he's still batting 250, which is nothing to bat an eye at in
it's gonna only
today's
go up.
Major League Baseball.
It's only gonna go up from here. Like, I expect the power numbers to come back, but you don't really need him to be hitting nukes right now. If he's
Uh,
hitting the ball
yes,
with
I
people,
do. I want him to hit nukes all the
I
time.
always want, yes, we all want that. But as long as he's hitting and bringing dudes in, I don't really care, right? We want
Well,
runs on the board.
he was hitting. He wasn't bringing dudes in this week, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a lot of
But
him getting on, nobody else getting him in.
but I will say that there was a guy. We've got two guys below 300 that we're going to talk about. They're both our picks to click, but talk about impact. Julio Rodriguez, 286 on the week, 8 hits, 3 runs scored, 2 doubles, 3 homers, and 7 RBIs on the week. Julio is hot, led the AL in extra base hits, home runs, and a slew of other
Should be
categories.
base player of the month.
He will be player of the month, probably announced in the next day or two.
Yes, he's been absolutely unreal, and I'm also shocked we haven't talked about Randy yet.
Randy did not make the cusp of the 300 list this week.
Oh, because he also well, he had a better series in Sacramento. Didn't have a great series against the Diamondbacks.
Correct. Another guy that had a good series down in Sacramento, not as good up here. Your pick to click was Colt Emerson, lowest average on the week at 200. He had 4 hits, 3 runs, clocked in with a triple and a home run, and had 3 RBIs on the week. And I saw it going around. MLB posted it, the side by side of his home run swing this week next to Ken
Yes.
Griffey Jr.'s, and they look a little similar.
Oh, Cold Emerson is going to be so much fun. I think this is still the getting used to period. Once he finally gets settled, and if the big decision gets made that he goes short, and just settles in, I think the bat will truly come alive. He is taking his walks. I just saw a little thing on pregame that he's reached safely in 11 of 13 games. So he is taking his walks. And I don't care that he nearly hit 200. He's going to be fun. He's going to be a good player. We see the little spurts of it here and there. He tripled this week, and the home run he hit was absolutely demolished. He's got the swing for it. He's just got to find his footing a little bit more. The defense has been very good outside of one play, I believe. Uh, but I am not worried about Cole Emerson in the slightest.
Nope. And then I do have an honorable mention of someone that everyone was worried about, and I told everyone to calm down last week. And since March or May 26th, I think he has a WRC plus of 153, and that's Bobby Reef. Rob Refsnyder.
Oh,
On the week, he batted 333, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, and 3 RBIs. He's
that's
back,
great.
baby.
We hope so, right? Okay. So since we're done talking stats and we're not bringing up Pareda or Mitch Garver in this, it's tough. Pareda's hitting, right? Mitch Garver's also doing Mitch Garver shit. It is like I like Mitch Garver on this team. I also like Pareda on this team. I don't know what you do here.
I don't.
You
I,
probably send down Pareda.
you send down Prada. The one thing I don't love about Prada is his challenging. Mitch Garver is a lot more effective with his
Yes.
challenge, and Prada kind of puts you in a bind. Um, I think on Saturday's game by
Yeah.
pretty early in the game by burning
Yeah.
both challenges in 1 inning, I believe it was. So makes it a little tougher, but um, it depends on what you're looking for, right? So are giving Cal a day off, right? You're wanting the pop that you can get in the damage that can get dealt
With Mitch
with
Garver.
Garver. I think that in the longer term, which is why you're seeing Pareda get more run with the starting squad, is because he's younger, he's a true catcher, and the average is there, right? He's hitting for a better average than Mitch Garver is on the season. And Mitch is a guy that you don't want catching 4 games a week. It gets pretty tough on Mitch Garver to catch
Right.
4 games a
And I
week.
also want Mitch Garver on this team. And there's like you can't just be like, all right, ref, see you later. You know,
Yeah, you're gonna have to send down Pareda. That's when Cal
it's
comes back.
tough.
That's what will happen.
I
Um,
think that's 100% what's going to happen as well. It's just a
what's
tough
crazy
conversation to
is
have.
2 games with Bobby Ref, and your mind was like, I want him off the team. I don't want him to touch the field ever again. And then he goes yard and has another hit sprinkled in there. Got hit by a pitch as well. I think took a walk in
Exactly.
there. And you're
He
like,
did.
he's back.
Yeah, dude, and if he keeps the struggles, like it was really Victor Robles coming back to maybe kind of click it like this is your last chance, you know, like because you do have Brendan Davis in the wing waiting, but it's also a guy you don't want to not give it bats to. I feel like
Yep.
so. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we cleared that up.
All right, we'll hop over to the pitchers. We'll start with the relievers that had a 0 ERA on the week. And the first one we're going to talk about is Hoppe. He pitched in one game, one inning pitched, and had one walk on the week, no strikeouts.
I mean, I
The
I I think he's
the
got the strikeout stuff.
piggybacking caused a lot less bullpen usage this week because you had two
Yeah.
big piggyback starts. We'll talk about both those guys a little bit later, but it really helped save the bullpen this week and one that
Agreed.
had been used pretty healthily before
Agreed.
this.
Agreed. I mean, but Hobby, I think he's got the strikeout stuff. It's just it's pitching to contact kind of right now, which I'm not mad at. I think they were up pretty good when he
Up
came in
big.
anyway. So
Yep.
I'm not too worried about it. He looks good. He's young, I know that, but it's just, you know, we've seen this before. Troy Taylor looked like that. Matt Brash looked like that once he went to the bullpen for a slight minute, and then he was awesome forever. But, it's still getting used to thing. He's getting used to the leverages of an MLB game, and I think once he finally settles in, hopefully Carlos Vargas comes back soon, but there's no update on him from what I've seen.
I'm not hanging my hat on Carlos Vargas, if
I
I'm
know, but
being
we also
honest.
started to like some of his stuff last year, so
I know, but I'm not like that. We will live and die by Carlos Vargas. You'll
no,
never see me on that hill.
no. But I think Hoppy's gonna do fine. He's gonna get limited run because you got the likes of Cooper Criswell and stuff that are performing pretty well outside of one little just everybody was hitting.
Yep. And welcome back, Gabe Spire. 0 ERA on the week. Pitched in two games, pitched an inning in the third with two Ks.
Dude, when he came out for the first time and he just decimated them, I was jaws on the floor. This Gabe Spire, baby. He's back. He's back.
It's always good to have Gabe Spire back, but the other lefty that's been doing stuff is Ferrer. 0 ERA on the week. Pitched in two games, pitched an inning in two thirds. No strikeouts, no walks.
The
And he goes through those
dude.
stretches where it's like he's a complete contact guy, and then other times it's like, how did he get, how did he strike out the side tonight? Not used to
Yeah.
seeing it.
I will tell you some crazy thoughts about him have been going through my head. A little of the maybe might be time to switch things up with how shaky Munoz has been lately. But Jose Ferrer, man, has just been so good. Like, I don't I was mad that they didn't get more for Harry Ford, and now I'm just like, we won this trade 1 million ways from Sunday. Like, I just he's outside of one little stretch when he first at the start of the season, he was bad for two outings, and then he locked it in. The dude has been so good at getting the ball just to find a glove, basically, and getting soft contact. People aren't really hitting it hard off of him. And what he's 24,
Mhm.
like the dude's unreal.
Well, and I picked him for my reliever of the year because you had taken Mooney, and we could have taken the same person, but I don't think that you can move Mooney out of the closer role
That's
because
also
Farrar
fair.
can't consistently strike guys out, and you need that
Mhm.
out of your closer. And Mooney can still do that in spades. Even in his rougher outings, he can usually work himself out of some trouble with strikeouts.
Yeah.
Another guy that did that a lot last year, it's been a little bit more puzzling this year, but this week he had a 0 ERA. It was Eduardo Pizarro, 0 ERA on the week, pitched in 2 games, gave you 2 innings, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And he has
Yeah.
not been the Bizardo that we saw last year, but he has still been relatively effective outside of like a 1.5 week stretch.
Yes. I think it's gonna take some work to get him back to what he was last year because it was almost untouchable. Um, I just think that his fastball and his slider aren't working the way that he wants. The slider is the big put away pitch, and it's hanging a little bit more this year, which you don't like to see. It's kind of like the MO of all the pitchers. A lot of these guys like to throw a little bit of a meatball down the middle of the plate sometimes. Not very great, but it is nice to see them kind of turning the corner, right? Like it just seems like there's life again. And as you said, vibes, right? The vibes are back. And you can see it on everybody in the dugout. You can see it on all the pitchers. Like they are all showing emotion after every inning. Like if Logan comes out and strikes two dudes out, he's pumped when he's coming off the mound. George, like, needed to be furious, and he was. Like everybody just kind of has been right minded in this whole week stretch. So who's the next one?
Next one, we're gonna go to the piggyback starters. We're gonna start off with Luis Castillo. 1 ERA on the week, 2 games, 1 win, 9 innings pitched, gave up 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 4 walks.
I will say, I don't know how I felt about him getting pulled after the fourth. After arguably his best start of the year.
Arguably not. That was the Yankees start where he went
All
7.
right. All right.
So arguably you're wrong. I
Sure.
argued it.
Sure. Whatever. But he was cruising.
I think that I think that after the 6 man rotation thing dies down because you're gonna need to get your studs out there, that Luis Castillo is a good bullpen arm for you
I
right
think
now.
you can get multiple innings a week out of him, out
Yes.
of the bullpen. And I don't think that it's a bad thing. It looked fantastic the other day. He went to the 10th inning and absolutely cruised. Yes, he gave up a run, but then the Mariners answered right back and he went back into cruise control. This is the Luis Castillo we've been begging for. This is Luis Castillo that we need. And if they can't get this figured out, I do have a solution. Nobody's gonna like it, but like if it can't get figured out and parties are still unhappy, you got to trade it. I think at some point. But if everybody can be happy and he goes to the bullpen and is way more effective and a different pace and mentality coming out of the bullpen, they can work. But he was
Well,
fantastic this week.
well, and then he's still going to be getting extended innings, so that way, if you do have an injury that pops up, he slots right back into your starting five.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but the other half of the piggybackers was Bryce Miller. He had a 1.8 ERA on the week, 2 games, 1 win, 10 innings pitched, gave up 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, 1 walk. The 2 earned runs were given up when they were demolishing the A's and
Yeah.
gave up a home run. But then the other one, even after the game, he's like, it's uncomfortable, like to come in. And you could definitely tell when he's starting a game, like he has been in the 2 starts that he's been absolutely electric. And they were limiting his pitch count, obviously coming back from the injury. But I think that he's shown like, yeah, I don't need to be at 70 anymore. Like I can go further. You don't need to take me out or Luis out. So I'm glad that they're ditching that for now and hopefully for good. But Bryce Miller has looked. very good since coming back from the injury
It's making me
list.
feel things from 2 years ago. Second half Bryce Miller, and oh boy, I'm so glad that his elbow is good this year. Everything looks filthy from him, dude. People are lost. Like Bryce Miller is him again. Big, or what do they call him? Big Tex
Yep.
in the locker room. Like, bust out the cowboy boots, put on the cowboy hat. The sheriff's in town, and Bryce Miller is back again. I just, my goodness, is he phenomenal?
He has hit another guy that bounced back to his old form. Uh, was Logan Gilbert
Yes,
in
he
his
did.
start down in Sacramento. Gave you 6 innings, 6 Ks, 2 walks, no earned runs, and came out with the dub.
He absolutely shoved.
It's the Logan Gilbert that we love to see. Just
It wasn't
competitive
Logan.
every at bat.
It was Walter. Walter showed up, and my goodness, can we get more of it? Like, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Ooh, okay. And then I think what everybody else wants a little bit more of is the start that Brian Wu put forward this week. 1 game, 1 win, 7 innings pitched, 9 Ks, only gave up 2 hits, and I think the first hit came in the fourth inning.
Yeah. Dude's getting so like him and Bryce are just getting whiffs left and right, dude. Their secondary pitches are working. Brian Wu's fastball, I can't understand it. I just don't get how much movement it has on it and how deceptive it is for guys to hit. Uh, Brian Wu, I would like to think is the best pitcher we have. Uh, he is ace material. I think he is the ace of the staff now. Over Logan, over George, he's proved it. Last year's streak of the 6 inning thing, and a lot of the times he got into the seventh. I just think the longevity out of him, he keeps his pitch count pretty low per inning. I mean, Brian Wu's the ultimate pitcher, I think, for this team right now.
Well, I think that on any given start, you have 4 guys, I think, right now. And I'm not going to say it yet about Emerson Hancock. I think he still has to prove it for a little bit longer stretch, but I think that you have 4 guys in Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, and Brian Wu that can all go out and give you an ace performance any night
Sure,
of the week.
sure, sure. Brian Wu's done it just more on a consistent basis. He had the two hiccup games, but other than that, it's been very solid from him this year.
Well, and speaking of the week, we had some picks to click last week. You had Colt Emerson. I went with Julio Rodriguez. I think we can all agree that Julio had the better week.
Yep.
And although Bryce Miller pitched extremely well. He did not pitch to the level that Brian Wu pitched at. So those are 2 wins for your boy Coach Red, which puts me up 3 total wins on the year. I'm basically the Seattle Mariners right now, where they're at in the West, 2.5 games up. So I've got the 3 game lead right now, but I will give you the opportunity to come back. We've got a home series against the Mets before going on the road against the Tigers, who are playing pretty poorly right now. And the Mets, I think at one point had 11 or 12 game losing streak. They bounced
Yes.
back quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how this series plays out at home. But I think the Mariners are playing some pretty good baseball right now. So it'll be interesting to see. But I will let you choose your pitcher first.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna shock the world. I'm gonna go with a guy I hardly ever choose, and I think that's gonna be Logan Gilbert. You get Logan Gilbert on Tuesday night. I believe it's against is it against Nolan McLean? Hold please. Let me look at the pitching matchup for tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
It'll be Jonah Tong, rookie. Uh Logan has looked better as of late. I mean, he had a little hiccup in his start prior to Sacramento, but I still think he looked pretty decent. The strikeout numbers are coming back for Logan. The innings are coming back for Logan. I do think that Logan this week against a poor Mets team will decimate them. So give me Logan Gilbert this week. The Mets have been playing horribly. Batters
Not
have not been very good.
okay. I mean, they
So
bounced back recently, but
eh.
okay.
I don't know, I follow a couple Mets fans that are YouTubers and on Twitter, and they even when they win they're not happy. So yeah. All right, Coach Red, who's your pick to click this week for your pitcher?
You want to get a little shocking? Well, here we go. I'll bring the shockingness to you. Give me Andres Munoz bouncing back this week and having a couple of saves sprinkled in. It
Okay.
hasn't been the best year for Mooney, but the stuff is still there, right? You see the strikeout stuff. He's given up more hits than he did last year, but give me Munoz to bounce back this week, especially. I think you're going to have some opportunities with the Tigers because you do
They're
have your first
pesky.
game against Frambar, which has sometimes been tough for the Mariners, so it could be a close game. But I think that Mooney comes in and locks it down because the Tigers haven't been playing super well offensively, and their pitching staff hasn't really been up to par. So
Yeah.
be interesting to see, but I think that Munoz gets you a couple of saves this week.
When Tarek Skubal goes on the IL, it's not good.
It's not good. But hopefully, what is good is the hitters that we are going to choose. And Kane, you can have first choice on this as well.
I was thinking about this one all day, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit of a slump. I have no mainstays to go to right now because my boy's is on the IL and he did me so well last year that it's just tough. I can't. I'm barred from choosing one person,
Mhm.
so there's also that. Give me Luke Rayleigh this week, and he's been arguably the hottest hitter outside of Julio on this team. Um, he almost leads, I believe, that him and Julio are 1 and 2 for home runs, RBIs, and a bunch of stuff. Luke is gonna finally get some run against the lefty, so we hope that that looks good. But with more opportunities comes better statistics, and you would hope. So with how well that Luke has been playing as a platoon guy, and if they're going to start giving him some more run, I think that Luke Rayleigh will have a very good week. You face a couple right. I think you face a majority righties outside of Manaya and Framber on this this week's games. So give me Luke to continue the breakout. I mean, it's the best Luke Rayleigh I think we've ever seen. Coach Red, who you got for your pick to click this week?
I'm gonna make it pretty easy. I'm gonna take who should be the reigning AL Player of the Month. I'm gonna go back to Julio Rodriguez. Um,
10 homers in a month.
10 homers, biggest home run month that he's ever had. Um, the good power numbers that you're seeing early in this year. You're seeing tough at bats. You're seeing the defense playing a little bit better as well. Um, Legging out balls in the infield, smashing balls into the corner. He's hitting the ball hard to all parts of the field. And when Julio's running hot, we know the Mariners team is doing well, and they're doing well right now. And I think that Julio's going to stay hot. And over the
Little
course of this
soft
week,
landing
they're
though.
going to sit there and still be able to put forth a good showing this week and
Agreed.
hopefully expand upon their lead in the AL West.
Agreed.
I know you wanted to take him, but you've been banned because every time you do take him, it
It's the
goes
worst week he's
to
ever had.
it every time. So
Every time.
every time. But You
It's
can make
fine.
our weeks a little bit better by giving us a follow on social media. It doesn't have to be the worst week that you've ever had by following us. You can start with me, your boy Coach Red. You can find me on X at the real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. Kane, where you at?
You can find me over on Twitter, Kane2406, TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. False. Do it, freaking do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.